Hi everyone, hope you're doing really well. Right, becoming a sort of truth seeker isn't something that happens overnight. Not unless, of course, you've got some kind of spiritual experience like the road to Damascus, where you're blinded and you're visited and someone tells you to change the error of your ways. Then it could happen instantly. You could stop becoming a persecutor of Christians to someone that sticks up for Christians. But it doesn't usually happen like that to everyone, does it? And so it can be a very long process, and you can waken up over a period of years. Well, today I want to share with you some videos that I've got on my hard drive that help me to see the world differently. And even as a former Jehovah's Witness, I didn't look at the world the way I do now I've seen these kind of videos. And I can't deny that whoever went to the trouble of putting these videos together, I can't deny that they weren't 100% sure that they would probably put themselves in danger, some of them, by going to the trouble of getting this kind of information over to the greater good of the world. But they were willing to take that risk, and you have to thank them for that. So, which one woke me up the first? Well, obviously the one that I would credit with having the biggest impact would be the X Factor winner reveals world's secret religion by Oatley and Childs, or Aitley and Childs. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his Christian name. And that's a 5-hour spectacular. And he kept me riveted from the moment that he came on. Now, having lived in Australia, I do have a soft spot for the Aussies, having been a surfer in the 70s. And I particularly liked Aitley and Childs. I liked him as an individual. And I didn't find any reason to say that what he was sharing with us that day was a lie. I felt as if what he was saying was actually true. And that's why I decided that that video would be preserved. I've not shared this video with anybody other than myself, but I have talked about it with other people. And that's what you need to do. Because when you slowly wake up, you are hoping that you're not on your own. And it will quickly dawn on you that you're not, because you'll end up commenting on someone's video and they'll comment back and you'll realize you're not on your own. That's quite encouraging, rather than just being ridiculed, which is really what happens to these early pioneers, the ones that are trying to get the early message out. These are the ones that are sort of set upon by people that want to shut down the truth from being known. So I think of David Icke in his early infancy, when he left his sporting position as a reporter, and then he started to talk about these future events. His BBC and his ITV colleagues ridiculed him, made his life hell. And so he couldn't continue in that profession. He had to leave. But, that was the price he paid for wanting to early warning people, which is great. So after the X Factor winner video, I saw another one called Everything is a Rich Man's Trick, a full documentary on JFK and 9/11 and how it ties in the Second World War and the way Germany was strengthened by the Crown Princes of Europe to be a battering ram against the Bolsheviks. He ties all that in, and I see a similarity now between Ukraine and how they've been strengthened against Putin's Russia. Because they do say that history repeats itself. And I feel as if that's exactly what's happening now with Ukraine and Russia. He does a very good job, and he attributes it to him waking up to his father and mother. It says so right at the beginning of Everything's a Rich Man's Trick. Everything that he'd learnt, he got from his mother and father. So they were obviously spiritually awake people that weren't easily fooled, and they were able to bring their son up with like-minded interest. And that's a good thing. You get a lot from your parents. So after I'd seen Everything's a Rich Man's Trick, and then I suddenly realised that I can't look at the world the same. And I can't see American and British businesses as being neutral during that time when they were clearly profiting from the Holocaust. He brings all that out. Interesting, it is very interesting. And then I saw Monopoly, Who Owns the World, and this is the one where we get BlackRock mentioned. And we start to realise that it's some kind of uni-party system is going on. That the division that you see between the two main parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, is something that has been put there, deliberately put there. And he talks about the French Revolution, and he talks about most of the wars being phony, orchestrated events in order to divide and conquer, that kind of thing. But he goes into a lot of detail about quite a lot of things, and it's one that you should try and look at if you get the time. And after I'd was slowly awakening with these videos, somebody said, "Martin, you should look at Phil Snyder." And I said, "Well, who is he?" And they said, "Well, he was a government top geologist who was working on the deep underground military bases." So I did. And I got Phil Snyder. And this is the last lecture that he gave before he was terminated. He was terminated in 1996, but in November 1995, he gave a full lecture. And he talks about the second alien metallic metals table. And he brings in some alien metals. Now, this video is obviously not going to be 4K. It's not even HD. It's low resolution. But you can still hear what he has to say. And he talks about an encounter that he had when he was 2 miles underground working on one of the deep underground military bases. And he come across what he said was a 7-foot alien demon. So he's not the first person to say that aliens and demons are one of the kind. Same thing. And I think we've all come into this realization now that that's what the demons do. They love posing as different things to fool us and to cause us to, move away from God. Because no one's looking for God, are they? If they're quite convinced that aliens and demons exist. You just stop looking for God. You stop looking for angels. And it's this is why the demons do all this posing as aliens. It's just to cause so much confusion, because they live in a land of confusion. And if you're not careful, you too will live in that same land. So the process of awakening, as I said, is not like Saul, who later became Paul. It's not Saul of Tarsus speed, when he was told, "Why are you persecuting my Christians?" And then from that moment on, he decided he needed to change. He needed to see things differently. We don't always get that kind of speed of awakening. And I think of some of the YouTube activists out there, like Russell Brand. He was extremely slow, very slow. And a lot of them were very slow to see things as they really are. Of course, since then, they played catch up, and they're doing quite well. But to begin with, they didn't want to see the world differently, because it was a comfortable world in which they was involved in. And I suppose that could be true of us. If we don't want to see the world for what it really is, and that is truly evil, then we will make excuses up for why things are the way they are. But these excuses won't be true. It'll be a cop-out. It is because we can't face up to what really is the case. So, people, this is my little alert message to tell you that these videos I have here are worth quite a lot spiritually. They will make you see things differently. Now, I'm not saying that all the journalists that took part in all these videos were spiritual people or had a constant faith. They might not have done. They might just have been good-hearted individuals who didn't want to go along with all the congestion and confusion and lies that the government has been force-feeding us since our birth. And so they just pushed back against it enough for them to actually make a difference by making a video and tailoring that video to people like you and me who are looking for answers. So these people, along with David Crowley, I didn't put his video up. I could have done, but it was only a trailer, wasn't it? You know, the one in question, the Grey State. I could have added that to here. I'm just sorry that the whole film didn't get made. It would have been a marvellous film. But we only have the trailer. But the trailer was enough to tell us that the ones that are sowing this confusion do seem to be the apron wearers. They're the ones that seem to be right at the heart of all wars, right at the heart of all political divisions between the two main parties. It seems to be those apron wearers that are running the world. And so that will bring you back to monopoly. Who owns the world? So, excuse my throat again. I still haven't got rid of it. It's there. It's very annoying. It means I can't sort of enunciate with pure clarity anymore. It's really gruffy. So the idea of this little chat with you was to say, you need to see these videos. You simply need to see them and set time aside to watch them. I hope you do. I'll see you again.